Plenty of familiar faces at fullback Paul Wellens, on the wings 80 Gardner and Lee Smith. The centre pairing, very experienced, Martin Gleeson alongside Keith Senior. In the halves, Leon Price is at 5'8", the number 7 Rob Burrow. A forward pack, Kevin Sinfield at lock, the two Garreths in the second row, Ellis and Hock, and the front row of Jamie Peacock. He's the skipper. James Roby, James Graham, the Super League Player of the Year, and coming off the bench, Danny Maguire and Maury Farsavalu, Adrian Morley and John Wilkin. They are coached by Tony Smith. Papua New Guinea not exposed to a lot of international rugby league, although they did tour France and Wales last year. No doubt their best, most recent performance, a 24-all draw against Australia's Prime Minister 13 last year. At fullback is the captain, John Wilshire. On the wings, David Moore and George Kepper. The centres, Chu Maori and Jesse Joe Parker. In the half, Stanley June will play at 5'8", outside Keith Peters. A forward pack of Rod Griffin at lock, Neville Costigan and James Nightingale, the second rowers. And up front, Makali Azui, Paul Aton and Trevor Exton. Their interchange, Rodney Pora and George Monty, Jason Chan and Charlie Warbo. They are coached by Adrian Lamb.
Not since 2000. And in that year, England were railroaded out of the semi-finals by New Zealand, 49-6 at Bolton. The home fans stunned that night, and Papua New Guinea, their best ever performance at this level. They qualified for the quarterfinals, only to be knocked out by Wales. The World Cup is underway off the boot of Kevin Sinfield. Papua New Guinea with first use of the ball. They had their jumper presentation today, and I'm told a stirring speech by their chairman, and he even included the word bloodbath in it. He had them all fired up and ready to go. This team coached by Adrian Lamb. Paul Aton, one of the NRL talent on show. John Wilshire gets up into the line. We're told he'll do plenty of that tonight, the man with the number 1 on his back, and the captain.
Well, if you're talking about speeches, Bossy, Adrian Lamb, before they left PNG, gave a heartfelt speech about the fact that his team was put in the pool with the three strongest teams in this year's World Cup. But they're here for a fight. They've got one tonight. They're pumped up the PNG boys.
Trevor Exton to play it, one of a number of players who appear in the Queensland Cup, and back it goes for, well, Stanley Jean, but he'd like to be known as Stanley Gene. He wants to set the record straight that he's had the English commentators bluffed all these years. And look at the defence from Papua New Guinea, half the side go into the first tackle of the night on Gardner.
What about that? Great kick chase.
That was the caboose at every carriage. It was all there. Standing wide is Ellis. And again, 3 in the tackle for PNG. Ayton, the last man in. And out of dummy half goes Lee Smith on test debut. What about this tackle, Laurie Daly?
Oh, the Papuans come from everywhere. Look at them. There's 5, 6 players involved. And that's something that they'll need to be strong at all night.
Jamie Peacock, the English captain, tackled just short of the 40-metre line. And now James Graham. This is a young tyro of British football. The man of steel this year, their player of the year in the Super League. Back for the left boot of Burrow to go downfield. Wilshire has it covered. He plays for Salford in the Super League. Made his debut with the Perth Reds, the Western Reds. Way back in 97, and good defence there as Gareth Hock came over the top with Martin Gleeson. But a steady start from PNG. They'll be happy having got through the opening 2 sets. He's 8 on, back for Gene. He said the only reason he stuck with Jean when he got across to England, he thought it made him sound like a toff. So he just went with it. But everyone in PNG knows him as Gene, and they've thought it's a great joke over many years. And we're not sure of the number 6's age. It's somewhere between 32 and 58. As now Azui goes for a run.
I picked him to be in the 50s.
And down a short side, and again Gene is the player kicking, and he won't find the line. Across goes Wellens, not the best trap in the world. We've seen plenty of this young bloke over the years, and caught there a little high.
And that's the side of the field the PNG team need to kick to for Paul Wellens. He's got a right-hand carry. He's not strung coming out of that right-hand corner, so throughout this match to get the upper hand on the kick chase, that's where they need to put the ball on the 5th tackle.
Out to the veteran of the English IQ Senior, and offloading for Smith. Smith is close to the sideline. He's managed to stay in the field of play thanks to Senior. And now Burrow, infield 4. Bit of size about him and runs there into joy about him. Kepper. Senior hurt after that previous exchange. Now Roby takes off. He's a good number 9, very clever. Leon Price, on it comes for Ellis. Kept alive. Over the top from Sinfield. Not a clean ball though out for Gardner. This is the bloke that's played outside all year of Matt Gidley, and as a result has scored a mountain of tries at St Helens. In fact, 32 across all games this year. Roby away for Sinfield. He'll have the goal-kicking duties tonight. High ball here for Wiltshire. He's equal to the task, and PNG stay in the contest early.
I like the way that the English side are moving the football. They're prepared to use it early in the tackle count. They've got tremendous strike out wide through Keith Senior, and in particular Martin Gleeson. He's an excitement machine.
Jesse Joe Parker. I'll tell you a story about this bloke, the number 4 for Papua New Guinea. He's on a salary in PNG of $25 a fortnight. Senior almost a chance of an intercept there. But Jesse Joe Parker, he's on $12.50 a week. And next year he will be playing with the Northern Pride in the Queensland Cup, where they paid him a sign-on of $450. He can retire.
Well, he'll be having the time of his life now. All these players in the World Cup get $100 a day, living away from home allowance.
Keith Peters with that kick downfield, the Panther. A couple of Panthers in this PNG side, and a couple of the Windsor Wolves as well. Panthers feeder team. And now away for Wellens. Was the player of the year back in 2006 in the Super League. Roby on for Graham. Busy early. A little bit of footwork as well, and he can offload. There's some skill in this England side. If they're on song, they are a real threat. Roby gets inside the 30, the St Helens hooker, and tackles up their sleeve here. Burrow on for Graham, now up to the 20. Rod Griffin came in over the top. Graham was able to slip a pass for Burrow. Last tackle. I think Leon Price wants it here. He's got it and feeds it along for Sinfield. They're going to run the ball. Out it comes for Gleeson. And away Gardner's over the sideline. Great defence by young Moore. David Moore, young Gold Coast Titan. No panic, very cool out on the wing.
Well, he's come out of the under-20s competition, the Toyota Cup, and comes up with a great play here. The desperation in the defence for the PNG team early on in this match has been sensational. There was a try on offer there, but they slid across the field hard, and young David Moore comes up with a big play.
The raps on him are enormous too, David Moore, and if you saw some of the Toyota Cup this year, you'll know why. Very, very exciting talent. Whatever internationals Papua New Guinea play over the next decade, I think you're going to see him in their side. So now they will work their way out of trouble. Kepper's come in for a run. Seniors there with Gareth Ellis. And they're 25 metres out from their own line. Aiton comes on for Exton. This time running at Peacock. Jamie Peacock will see this as his last real chance for glory with England. Stanley Genna's played for the penalty and has got it. Wonderful stuff.
Oh, on 5th tackle. He's played for it. He's won it for his team. They needed it. They were struggling coming out of trouble. And there you can see just the leg pull at the last moment. Tony Smith, the England coach, would be disappointed with that. They get a great opportunity to go onto the attack here, New Guinea.
Pretty sure it was Gareth Hock, the player, penalised just for that little leg pull, but certainly played up to it. Now Aiton on the restart, and Papua New Guinea are inside the England half with Makali Azui. Made his debut here in 2000 against Australia, a test match in Townsville. Scoreline wasn't a happy memory. Australia scored over 80 points. Costigan, pressure on him to lead tonight. Here he is again, Neville Costigan. 9 games for the Raiders this year, not his happiest season. He's off to the Dragons next year. Well, this will get the locals involved if they score first. The underdogs out for Wiltshire, got away from Burrow. In off the wing was Smith. Dummy half now is Maori. On with Peters. Nice show of the ball. And then an offload. They're threatening the line. The pass was a good one from Azui. 5 metres away. Last tackle. They would love a result here. Genna's got it. He's got it to the in goal. Wellens is across. And Papua New Guinea have got themselves a line dropout from the England team.
Lovely constructed set of 6 there by the Papua New Guinea team. And Stanley Genna, last tackle, just rolls it along the carpet. Wellens does a terrific job to recover the football, but they get a repeat set and can put some real pressure on this England team.
No wonder they want a team in the National Rugby League. The detail in that set was spot on, and this is the way they need to play if they're going to test the Pommies.
Line drop out and ready for the run as Trevor Exton. Here he goes. Exton, up he comes, plays for Ipswich and runs into a good tackle from Roby. Sideline is the king, Wally Lewis.
And Benny Eichen mentioned the detail that was involved in the last set of 6 in defence. As a ruck error manages to turn it over, it'll be a scrum feed to Great Britain, to the English, I'm sorry. But we really do have to pay credit to the defence from the PNG boys. They slid across, remained in target. You're having a look at it a little bit. They seem to be a little bit compressed in their line, making sure that they offer something out wide for the Poms to have a go at.
Referee Shane Hayne and all the officials throughout the World Cup wearing the pink shirts, which will be signed by the 10 World Cup captains and auctioned on Grays Online, raising money for the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Other charity that the World Cup is supporting is the White Ribbon Day Foundation. First time that's ever happened, and very worthy indeed. And all those involved to be congratulated for that teamwork coming about. Here's Peacock for England. Nice low tackle from Peters. Can't fault the commitment of Papua New Guinea early. Graham, another run for him. And again you see the footwork, and again you see the offload. Roby, wrapped up by Makali Azui. 42 metres away from the Papua New Guinea line. Away for little Burrow, then away to Leon Price. It's like Schwarzenegger and DeVito, the halves combination for England. Big Leon Price outside Rob Burrow. Now for Sinfield. He'll kick high from 29 metres out. This one out to the wing of George Kepper. Kepper does well. George Kepper with the ball and wrapped up by Senior.
Outstanding performance in the air by Kepper. He leaped high for the football. He had eyes only for it and come down with it. That's a tremendous take.
It's a back line with a couple of teenagers in it too. Maori, right centre. Moore, left wing, 19-year-olds.
And they'll be under the pump, the PNG wingers tonight, because Adi Gardner and Lee Smith can both jump. So the halves for the Promies, they'll kick to the corners. Well done.
Played by Exton, 8 on. Away for Gene, little show of the ball, finds an inside runner. And Papua New Guinea getting through their sets, but Shane Hayne had called held, and then the offload. And a little unfortunate there for Neville Costigan, and a penalty goes the way of England, and it is inside the Kummels half.
Well, he knew straight away Costigan, the arm carrying the football, touched the ground, and then he offloaded. The tackle was deemed complete, and it's a terrific opportunity now for the Englishman. See whether they've got any nice set plays.
25 metres out from the line. They're ready to rumble with this PNG side. Hock goes forward. Has to slip a ball away under a bit of pressure. Now Burrow gets it going for Price. Out it comes for Ellis. He's 20 metres from the line, and again the defence regroups. Peters got there first. The halfback for Papua New Guinea. Burrow infield for Sinfield. Here is Graham. Not able to offload that time. Tackled by Costigan. And a dummy half goes Roby. They play it nice and flat now for Peacock. Little bump off and wrapped up by Nightingale. Only 5 minutes from the line. Roby out for Burrow. They work to the right. Price is trouble. Leon Price. He certainly is big. He's a great athlete. He's wrapped up on the goal line. And tackle for England. And they attack the short side. And over goes Gardner. Leading try scorer in the Super League has got the first one here. England lead by 4 points to 0. They pitch a try down the right side.
Yeah, trick shot down the short side. It was lovely work by James Roby. He comes to our shores with big high expectations.
Aid try in his 7th test. Playing on the right wing. He's one of the younger breed in this English side. There are some players who've been around for quite a time, like Wellens and Gleeson, senior. But aimed at Gardner in the new breed. And one of the beaten St Helens grand final side. 4-0 to England. At Dairy Farmers Stadium, and a 4-0 scoreline, and Kevin Sinfield to attempt the first conversion of the night. Star with Leeds. Made his debut way back in 1997 as a 16-year-old. Made his international debut at the 2000 World Cup. Here's his first kick of the night. It looks pretty good. Looks great from Kevin Sinfield. And a 6-0 scoreline here. England over Papua New Guinea. Wally Lewis sideline.
It's remarkable how confidence can travel. The boys from PNG got an enormous amount up after denying the opportunity to the English team for 4 or 5 tackles. It was a wonderful defence. Just one opportunity that was opened up now. Be very interesting to see how the confidence department goes. The PNG boys have got to believe in themselves.
Well, it was just the penalty, wasn't it, Ben? The penalty conceded, an unfortunate one from Neville Costigan.
Yeah, the key thing there was Neville Costigan. It's these 5 players in the Papua New Guinean team with Super League or National Rugby League experience that are really going to have to lead the way. Neville Costigan knew that was an error. You could see the look on his face, but it presented the Pommies with a chance to post the first points, and they took that opportunity.
And Graham under assault from the kickoff return, and Adrian Lamb reacting to the first try conceded of the night as Ellis gets outside the 20. He made changes straight away. Rodney Pora and George Monty are out there now as England get another penalty.
They're very impressed with the way that England are looking to move the football. I spoke about it in the first couple of sets that they had. And for the English team, with the reputation that they do bring to our shores, it's about getting the standard right and making a statement straight up to the New Zealanders and the Australians to say, hey, we're no walkover. We're here, we're ready. This is our best chance of winning a World Cup in a long time.
And we should mention, different to the NRL rules, 12 interchanges are allowed through the course of the match using 4 players, not the 10 we're used to in the NRL. Here's Price. This looks slick from England. Wellens, and a good tackle as well to cut him down.
And the tap restart on the penalty, 10 metres in, not 20.
A few other minor changes we'll highlight through the match as Burrow goes for Ellis, the player off to the Tigers next year. Senior on to Smith, showing speed down the left wing. Smith has managed to get over, hasn't forced the ball, and is pushed back to the field of play. Great defence, Papua New Guinea, then Graham's put it down when all he had to do was catch and score, the big front rower.
You cannot question the desperation in defence that the Papua New Guineans are showing. They've turned up here ready to play. I think you'll find it's George Kepper that will get across and end up holding Lee Smith in the air so he can't get the ball down. But they've done it a number of occasions already. The Englishmen finding space on the fringes, but as Laurie pointed out, they're sliding across and making a real effort to shut down whatever happens on the fringes.
Papua New Guinea need to be careful down short sides. They've already conceded 1 try. They're getting their numbers across to the middle of the field, but they still need to cover up short blind sides.
Played by Stanley Gene. And now the captain, Wilshere, gets back over the 20. Good metres for PNG. And now Moore gets himself involved and earns a penalty as well. The marker's not square, and that's some pretty good football from Papua New Guinea there. Picked up the tempo on the back of a scrum win.
They'll be loving that. So too the coach. He would have relaxed a little bit, Adrian Lamb. I just don't know how the Kummels are going to match it in terms of fitness across the 80 minutes, the boys from England. But at the moment, they're playing at a furious pace, plenty of urgency. And now they're out of trouble, back near the halfway, with a chance to show us what they've got in attack.
Well, in this Kummels side, there's a handful of players who play in the domestic competition in PNG, and this is one of them, Rodney Pora. Tips the scales at around about 106 kilos. He's about the biggest there is in their squad. Jesse Joe Parker, another one who plays in the locals, but there he is, Pora, into the game early. With the starting front rows off the field. Gene, such a key man for them. Thought he was going to start at lock, but we turn up here tonight and he's got the number 6 jumper. He's a very versatile player. Probably doesn't even need a number on his back. Peters pushes out wide. Wilshere run around with Peters. Defence getting up quickly. Now they link up with Tumari. And Murray is going to get to the 40-metre line. Could have offloaded. Nightingale was there in support. This is Peters. They're 35 away from the line. The defence of Graham and Ellis there for England. Joining in the fray was Sinfield. 6 points to 0. England, Gardner try. Sinfield sideline conversion. Gene gets a kick in. It's past Gardner. Gardner's got the ball, and the chase is good from David Moore. Another line drop out for England.
He's got a lovely short kicking game, Gene. Looked as though he was going to run the football on last tackle. 8 Gardner had dropped back, but he got it over his head, and then the chase came through by Moores, and that's excellent work by Papua New Guinea.
See, Stanley Gene, or Stanley Jean, as we've sort of known him, he played not just in the 2000 World Cup, he played in the 1995 World Cup, and is trying to tell us he's in his early 30s. That means that he was a teenager back then, but I swear from the media guys back then he was in his mid-20s. 13 years ago. So he's closer to 40. Has to be.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, there's no drama with that, but no one's ever cited a birth certificate. Apparently there's a baptism certificate, but you can be baptised when you're 20.
Well,
you can be baptised when you're 50.
I play with a bloke called Kevin Campion that did the same thing. He was 30 for 5 years in a row.
Now here's Aiton, pushes along, and here he is again. Stanley, 20 metres out from the line, offloads back for Aiton. Price has stripped the ball. He'll claim it was one-on-one, but two players had got involved in the tackle. And Papua New Guinea get the penalty.
Some nice ball movement there. Paul Aiton out of dummy half, getting across the field, looking for... Now you can see two men in the tackle, and Price playing at the football.
Right there, then. Right there,
Gleeson was trying to get out of it.
Now when you're ready. Hold here, boys.
And they're going to take the tap restart after some debate. And Pora's ready for another run. He's 12 metres out from the line. In defence there was Peacock. Bit of pressure on England here. Aiton, 10 metres out. They keep it pretty simple on that play, setting for the next. Played by Costigan. Across they come. Aiton's a key man. On it comes for Griffin. Griffin has gone over for Papua New Guinea. The World Cup comes alive in Townsville, and Rod Griffin has scored, and every one of the Quibble players has run at great speed to hug their lock forward. It is 6 points to 4. That's a great moment, Ben Eichen.
A wonderful moment. The crowd's on their feet. Paul Aiton will come out of dummy half, drift across the field. He's got dummy runners inside, and he flows a lovely flat ball to Rod Griffin, who comes back against the grain, and it's pure strength from there, rolling through, getting it down, getting up, and cheering because he knows the Papuans are back in business.
I spoke to Adrian Lamb before the game, and he told me to keep an eye out for Rodney Griffin. He told me he runs excellent lines, and that's a perfect example.
Have a look at the hug. Have a look at this. The images you're going to see during the World Cup. That's shade to the 97 grand final, the Darren Albert try.
You've got to love it.
That's got it to 6-4. Great stuff. And Wilshere to convert. And it is 6-all, the World Cup. Papua New Guinea and England. Bench, Azui crying out to his teammates there. The 30-year-old front rower. His team level with the might of England at 6-all. And the crowd enjoying it so far. Big build-up to the opening match. The official opening ceremony tomorrow night in Sydney before the Kangaroos take on the Kiwis. Back underway with a high restart from Kevin Sinfield. And I reckon their hearts are just about beating out of their chest now, Papua New Guinea. Monty took the first hit up back. They will feel like they are indestructible at 6-all.
Well, one thing you do after points is get plenty of energy. And here goes Guinea.
Guinea's got him away again. This is a very well-coached side. Adrian Lamb has got this team working beautifully. And Paul Aiton, players like Keith Peters, Guinea, the blokes with a little more experience at a higher level are really coming through. And well, Stanley's decided to put one over the sideline with an 8-metre game.
At the core of it all, the thing I'm loving most about the PNG team is that just run hard and tackle hard. This is a hard run, and when you run hard, you're hard to stop. It was beautifully executed, there's no doubting that. But for the most part, they are hitting in defence, the PNG team, and run after run, they are going 100 miles an hour. It's taking its toll on the Pommies. Well, they've always loved the collision, the Papua New Guineans, but it's just been their execution and their attention to detail in, running the right lines. And under Adrian Lamb, they look as though they're starting to learn that concept.
Played by Gareth Ellis. Now Roby back in field for Peacock. We should mention temperatures got up to 30 degrees today. Good run here from Peacock, but not the humidity that can come with playing in Townsville. Now Graham with the ball, and again he shows us a swerve with his run. He has proven a handful so far. Adrian Morley's out there for England now. He's on for Gareth Hock. You'll see him in a moment. Smith close to the sideline. Taken over the sideline by the Sergeant, George Kipper.
Yeah, lovely work. The Englishman once again looking to come down a short side. They only had two defenders there, Papua New Guinea, but they slid well. No one was prepared to come out of the line. Just watch the movement there. They used the sideline as a defender, and that was an excellent tackle. Smith going over the sideline, and Georgie Kepper right on song.
This is a polished performance thus far. That's what has caught me by surprise. I knew it was going to be full of passion, the performance from Papua New Guinea. There was never any doubt about that. But their attention to detail and their performance has been phenomenal.
Well, their efforts at the 2000 World Cup, skippered by Adrian Lamb. They beat Tonga, South Africa and France, and then went down to Wales in the quarterfinals, 22-8. By the way, their captain this time round, John Wilshere, scored all the points in that game. And here's a good run. Past Senior, stepping the centre, Jesse Joe Parker, JJ to his friends. Wonderful run. Now Paul Aton, 43 metres away from the line. He's going to earn his $25 a fortnight playing like that, Jesse Joe Parker. James Nightingale, 35 away from the line. Senior drives back with Rob Burrow. Back on the 40 now. It's 6-all, a little drop ball there from James Nightingale, and that hurts. They had some momentum there, PNG.
Oh, I think there may have been a hand there by Keith Senior. Hand on the football. See it rolling out there. Well, nah, I read it wrong.
Slowing it down. Paul Aton wasn't going to pack into the scrum and had to get a bit of hurry up from referee Shane Hayne. Here is Wellens with the ball. He'll be disappointed he wasn't able to hold out Rod Griffin in the scoring of the try. Stanley! He was the last line of defence. Morley gets a touch. And a penalty this time for England. Website to keep in touch with this World Cup, www.rlwc08.com. All the scores, all the team lineups, all the injuries, all the news on that website. Profiles on the players. And now England with a chance to post their second try. And another hit up for Graham. How strong's he been? 8 hit-ups tonight, leads the count. Highest for either team. 10 metres out from the line. England in possession. At 6-all, Leon Price with a step. Defence rushes across. George Monty got there first. 5 away. Again, Roby at dummy half. Very flat pass for Morley. Back for Roby. Good skill. Roby's lost the ball with some desperate goal line defence from Papua New Guinea.
And there it is again. We've spoken about it enough, about the passion that the Papua New Guineans are showing in defence, particularly when defending their line. Here's the pass. Was forced out the back. James Roby will duck, try to get across the line, loses control. There's no doubting for me in this contest. So we see a bad cut there that will need attention, that Leon Price is the man that can turn the game.
Jesse Joe Parker, the player being treated at the moment. Plenty of blood. But that was the desperation of the defence.
Yeah, body on the line sort of stuff.
Absolutely, that's the result of putting your body on the line.
He'll get this fixed up, he'll get back on, and that'll inspire his teammates. That's a bad cut. A bad cut.
He may have more than one looking at that. But he's back in the in goal. And they rule the knock on against England. No real advantage to Papua New Guinea, so they now get the scrum feed. 10 away from the line, and Stanley Gene is showing us everything. He's feeding the scrums as well. As I said earlier, doesn't need a number on his back. He will just pop up everywhere. Now Wilshere. Graham's up there quickly in defence. Like what you're seeing, Laurie, with this young front rower, James Graham. We've heard so much about him.
I do, Andrew. He's willing to take the ball forward as Costigan goes on a good run, and here they come again, Papua New Guinea.
And a good offload from Costigan as well for George Monty. But we missed seeing Graham back in the 2006 Tri-Nations. Yeah, they've sent Charlie Wavo out there, and Charlie's first touch of the ball is a pass between his legs, and I like that.
Flamboyant.
Adrian Lamb not flash on it. He did say he just tried to rein in a bit of this, but I guess it's hard to get out of the system altogether.
Just a bit.
And now Stanley Gene's gone for another kick over the sideline, and it's gone out on the full, and he was only looking for 5 or 6 metres.
It's the first time they've kicked to the right side of the field.
And he's using his short kicking game from about 50 metres out.
Yes,
he's done that a couple of times. We know he's got a good short kicking game, Stanley.
I can understand they're trying to take the ball out of play, slow it down, play it at their tempo, but metre gains of that distance.
I think when he makes a mistake, he wants to go on under the name Stanley Jean.
Stanley Jean.
Yeah, and when he plays well, Gene.
played by Burrow. He almost got through, and now Peacock got through the tackle of Charlie Wabo. Leon Price. On it comes with Gleeson stepping back in field. It's still alive there for Price. Leaping Leon's got the ball. He got around one and has wrapped up 11 metres from the line. Who chose Blackpool over Bondi. Said Blackpool was far better than Bondi Beach. Now Sinfield slips into the tackle and is cleaned up.
Great shot.
They adjust his hairdo. 12 metres away from the line. Last tackle. Rob Burrow holds it up over the top from Wellens. There is Smith, and he's got one on debut. Lee Smith scores the try for England. The man of the match from the Super League Grand Final, playing at fullback on that day, and he's on the wing today and has got a 4-pointer.
Well, the first 5 tackles were pretty ordinary by the English, but 5th tackle option, they decided to run the football. Rob Burrow holds the pass up for Welland. He throws the pass over the top to Smith in the corner.
Smith. 22 years of age, Lee Smith scores that try. So the 2 wingers are on the board for England. Aid Gardner got the first in only his 7th Test match, and now Smith on debut has scored here. Sparkling performance in the grand final, Lee Smith, for the victorious lead side. 24-16 it was. Three tries scored in this first half, the opening match of the World Cup of Rugby League, and we're coming to you from Townsville, and Kevin Sinfield has shown us one sideline conversion from the eastern line, now from the western touchline. Sinfield again, and he's got it again. 2 from 2, and it is 12-6, Wally Lewis.
Well, mistakes from PNG are proving to be the lifeline for England at the moment. That's 2 turnovers they've had, and the English team have created very well on both occasions. Stanley Jean, Neville Costigan the first time, Stanley Jean the second. When they shift the ball to the left side, they really do look like they're going to be able to out-attack the Kumuls. When the ball's in the middle, it's a tight contest.
And that try scorer, Lee Smith, the reason he was playing fullback for Leeds in the grand final was because of a serious injury to Brent Webb. He's doing it a bit tough, would have been the New Zealand fullback. And now Pasavulu is on for England, but Smith made the most of his chances from wing to fullback and gets man of the match in the grand final. It's a good story, and now on debut at this level scores a try. Morley outside the 20. And Fasavulu gets another run. The Samoan-born forward in this England side as qualifies under the residency rule, made his debut last year.
He's a good player, Big Maury. Adds a lot of impact when he comes off the bench. He's big, he's explosive, he can do some real damage around the rucks. Watch him go.
Peacock will play it 5 short of halfway, and away goes Roby again. He's very, very effective, the number 9 for England. Shares duties with Kieran Cunningham at St Helens. He's now well and truly the number 1, though. Ellis gets up to the 20. This is their best set of the night for England. On the back of their second try. Now Burrow inside for Sinfield, off the head of George Kepper. Play on, Wilshire's got it. And in fact, he's going to rule it was forward from England. And I think he will rule scrum feed for Papua New Guinea. He will.
Well, it was building nicely there from England. I just like the way that young Rob Burrow is now starting to inject himself into the contest. For the first 25 minutes, he was prepared to tease the New Guinea side by just showing and passing early. And now when the opposition is starting to get fatigued, he's starting to show us his skills.
He's a real talker, Rob Burrow. Jamie Peacock, the captain, said he's the toughest kid he's ever played with. He's only about 5'2". But when he starts yapping, Tom's usually starting to fly up.
So shorter than Alfie. Alfie towers over Rob Burrow. Burrow 162 centimetres. I think Alfie was 165. As now Papua New Guinea just getting a little disorganised, but Kene will get them out of trouble and take them all on, and then Burrow put a shoulder into him. Outside the 20-metre line, Papua New Guinea in possession. And they will settle down now, and they need to. They've worked very hard in the first 32 minutes of play. I don't think they deserve to be down by 12 or 18, but if they got a little loose, that's what could happen coming up to the break. And a penalty here, it'll be against Adrian Morley, who I think I'm right in saying he got through this year for the first time in his career without a suspension as captain of Warrington.
Well, obviously the captaincy sits well with Adrian Morley. He knows he's got plenty of responsibilities with the C next to his name, coming off the interchange bench. I don't know whether he'd be happy with that. I think he'd rather be in the starting side. He's a wonderful player. Had a fantastic couple of seasons with the Roosters.
Not one suspension. Not one suspension. He's coming back from a stomach injury. He did miss their warm-up game against Wales that they won 74-0. And he did miss that. Now Jason Chan, one of the Windsor Wolves, tackled 40 metres out from the England line. This is Maori, held up there by Senior. And now Wabo with the red boots. Charlie Wabo out for Gene. Flat pass there.
Play was in the back
from England.
Play was in the back there. He went to the front, but they're going left again.
It was Costigan who charged onto the ball. Gene, risky pass. Price was right there, sweating on Wilshere. And now Moore out of dummy half inside the England 20. Well, what about another Papua New Guinea try coming up to half-time?
Short kick.
Inside the final 7 minutes, here's Gene. Well, he's practiced from a long way out. He's got one in. It's been knocked forward by England. Tackle count will restart for the Kummels. 19 metres out from the England line. That's what Stanley has been working up to. And now he's got a repeat set. Makali Azui's back out there and held up 11 metres from the line by Gleeson. Wabo inside the pass. Costigan will play it. Stanley Gene calling the shots. Old Stanley. Now Wabo. Dummies to Gene. Keeps it going out wide on the bounce to Peters. Then for Wilshere. Burrow gets up on Wilshere with a good tackle. Quick play the ball. And off they go again. Maori. On it comes with Jason Chan. 12 points to 6. England lead. But Papua New Guinea putting it together. 6 out from the break. Here's Peters. And they settle this time for their try scorer Griffin. A moment to remember for all of his life. The first try for PNG at this World Cup. Wabo on the last tackle. Gene just paused before kicking. Now he's knocked it on after being charged down by Sinfield. At 12-6 to England.
And he got the repeat set. It come off the Pommies. He went to get it back. He's come up with a knock on. But there's some great football there from the PNG team. As the Pommies go down the left.
Forward ball, forward pass to Wilkin, who was away. And Papua New Guinea will get another chance.
And they're excited.
They will have a scrum feed. 15 metres out from the line. And England going on with some shenanigans in the packing of this scrum. They put their front row there, but no back row. Taking on the PNG forward pack. Fed by Peters. Gene gets it away, run around with Maori, then for Wilshere, and it comes for Moore. Moore is close to the line. Now Papua New Guinea attacking the England line after the scrum win. 5 minutes out from the break. 12-6 to the Lions, but the Kummels are coming. The drums are beating. Figuratively speaking. Gene gets it for Azui. Azui is wrapped up 5 away from the line. Still the pressure is on. Wabo, Gene, cut out ball, a good one. Chan will score. Jason Chan has got Papua New Guinea's second try. And again they've taken off. They've come from everywhere again. Don't they know how to celebrate this Kummel side? Boy, gee, what's going to happen if they win?
Well, who cares how old he is, Stanley Gene, because he's on fire. He'll take the ball to the line, throw a cutout pass, and it's try time. The space opened up, and Jason Chan comes back against the grain, into the hole, and gets a 4-pointer that he'll never forget. Stanley Gene, you are a genius.
Jason Chan plays for the Windsor Wolves. Look at the PNG fans here, and there's plenty of them. But we should explain for our international audience, the Windsor Wolves, they play in what's called the New South Wales Cup. A bit like a second-grade competition to the NRL. And the Windsor Wolves, the feeder team to the Penrith Panthers. Papua New Guinea at 12 points to 10. And I know there's all sorts of betting, but who would have thought half-time draw? Which will be the case if Wilshere converts here. There is still some time up to the break, 3 minutes in fact. Wilshere successful. 30 points at the 2000 World Cup. He's got 4 here. And it is 12-all, Benny.
Well, if you think this crowd looks a little bit excited, imagine what they're like back in PNG when the old master Stanley Genno's playing like this. He saw the space. Jason Chan run a fantastic line. They've done that on a couple of occasions now to the Pommies. Their fringe defences, what's a concern for them at the moment? Because I don't think this is one of the more structured, well-polished teams they're going to come up against, but they're tearing them apart.
Well, I will tell you about the fanaticism of the Kumuls and their fans as Monty took the first hit up in just a moment. Wally Lewis sideline.
Well, while everyone's still cheering down here about the Kumuls try, there is a little bit of bad news. The centre, Jesse Joe Parker, has been raced off to hospital. It seems as though he has a suspected fractured eye socket and will take no further part in the game.
Oh, that's very disappointing news. And we told you, one of the battlers, would there be any lower paid player in the game at $25 a fortnight? Here he was on the big stage, and that's terrible news. But the fanaticism of the PNG fans, when they made the quarterfinals back in 2000, when they returned home, those who went back to PNG, 5,000 at the airport. They had a street parade through Moresby. They reckon the crowd was 50,000 for the ticker tape parade, having qualified for the quarters. There'll be a ticker tape parade just for being 12-all here. 90 seconds out from half-time. And what I like is the contribution of the bench players. There's a bit of depth there with this PNG side. Wabo, Pora, Monty, Chan all have been very strong. 30 minutes out from half-time. Maybe a field goal from Stanley Genno coming up to the break. That's what we'll be looking for. Back on the bounce there to Griffin, their first try scorer. Held by Roby. Now 25 metres away from the line. Last tackle, Wabo. Away for Peters. Peters going to steady for the bomb. Kicks it high. Underneath it is Smith. Smith goes up, he misses it. It's there for Kepper. Kepper, has he got it down? Kepper dived. He may have come up short. George Kepper for Papua New Guinea. They've gone up again. They've gone off again. What about this team? Talk about your underdogs. They could be in front at half-time.
Well, he put the ball in the air. And when the ball is in the air, it's a contest. They're all onside. They're all onside. And then it's a contest. Lee Smith is posted. Doesn't make any contact with the football. Kepper comes up with it. Dives for the... Oh, does it hit the line or is it short?
Boy, oh boy. Well, Burrow was running a shield. I've got no dramas with Maori's challenge there. Play on there. Ben Eichen, what about the put down?
I'm going to have a look at it now. I think he's got it. I think that's good. And I mean, George Kepper will get the try as we have a closer look. There she is, that's 4 points. To Maori, take your hat off. He's the guy that forced his way through the defensive line, went up for the ball, put pressure on the Englishman to catch it. And that's a try for mine.
Benefit of the doubt at the very least. Video referee for this one is Stephen Clark. I think he did come down short at first touch, but then momentum, ball rolls forward, try for mine. Huddle back on halfway. They think it's a try. England have conceded. They're in goal. That is the Papua New Guinea side, back their side of halfway. Stephen Clark's decision. This is incredible, folks. This is incredible. PNG's in front. 16-12. They've scored 3 tries in the first half. This bloke's just turned up. And he's dressed for the occasion.
He's just won himself a first-class fight to PNG as Stephen Clark. If he didn't give that, he would have never, ever been able to go back there.
What's the flying time from Moresby? Could you get out in time and get to Townsville to see the second half?
I think
see
so.
Full time?
Yeah, I think they should charter a flight. The Rugby League World Cup people.
Come down and celebrate tonight. What a stunning start to the World Cup. Wilshere now sideline conversion. Plays for the Salford City Reds. The captain of Papua New Guinea. Centimetres in from the touchline. The kick is going to spray across the face of the posts. But 5 tries in the first half. And many of you would have thought, well, it'll be 5 tries for England. Not the case. 3 tries to Papua New Guinea. To Griffin, to Chan, to Kepper. For England, to Gardner and Smith. But Papua New Guinea lead the opening game of the World Cup. A stunning scoreline. 16 points to 12 at Dairy Farmers Stadium here in Townsville. Ready then for the second half here at Dairy Farmers at 16 to 12 to Papua New Guinea. They've had some grand moments in their history, but not too many. 1986, they beat New Zealand by 2 in Port Moresby. 1990, they defeated Great Britain by 2. If they could open here against England, it would be extraordinary. 15 minutes inside their own half, England in possession. They kept Denny Maguire off the field in the first half. He is a player they have up their sleeve, a game breaker.
Discipline will be the key for the Papua New Guineans closing out this match. There's no doubt about that. Wasn't half bad in that first half. But if they're to win from here, they need to minimise their mistakes, not give away silly penalties. This isn't a great start. So the Poms are on the attack again. The attention to detail in that area of their game has to be spot on.
So England in possession, and it's Morley with it. And he's 45 metres away from the Papua New Guinea line. Costigan got up there in defence with Azui. Now Roby, he's been as effective as anyone. He popped the pass there. It was knocked down then. Got a knock on both ways. It was knocked down by Rod Griffin. And Shane Hayne is going to say first knock on was against Griffin. So England will get the scrum feed.
Well, Roby got out of dummy half, and Fasa Falu just rang the wrong hole. He come back under James Roby. If he stays on the outside, there was a massive hole. So the combination needs to get better by the Englishman.
Good pick up there from Price and puts a little step there on Griffin. Held up 31 metres away. They need a big start to the second half. They're in field position to achieve that. 25 metres from the line. Good defence there from Moni for Papua New Guinea. Now across with Burrow in tight for Sinfield. Spun away from Costigan, but not away from Wabo. 18 metres away from the line, again with Roby, and again he offloads. Wellens has got it this time, and monstered by the defence of Costigan, just 10 away. Back for Price, a step and a look inside. Out the back to Burrow. Little Burrow steps in field and is then hit by Azui. Got him 9 metres out from the line. And Sinfield will kick for the corner of Gardner. Underneath it is Moore, he's missed it. Gardner's got a hand to it. This will be a Papua New Guinea ball from changeover. Gardner had a shot at that.
I still feel as though England are looking too fancy, getting to their structure and waiting for things to happen. They're taking 1 up, 2 up for a play. They've just got to go forward. Go forward and play off what happens on that play. Reactions.
Now Wilshere to centre field. PNG. The try that got him in front right on half-time to George Kepper. Every try has been met with great celebrations on the field and in the crowd. PNG on their 30. And now Wabo. He's been good. Georgie, or rather Charlie Wabo, coming on for Paul Aton. Aton was outstanding in his time on the field. Peter sends them off down the right side, and look at the ground. What Laurie's saying, what Papua New Guinea are doing is a far more simpler game, but very effective. They've got themselves to the kick of Peters, not his best kick of the night. Fielded there by Wellens, and Wellens chased down by Wabo, and they've trapped them 25 metres out from the line.
So you need to be an adaptable team. If you look to spread the football and it's not working, you need to have a plan B.
Look at that tackle from Costigan.
Unbelievable.
He just lined him up. Neville Costigan lifts his team with that sort of defence, and now the troops follow up.
Look at this. Perfect technique, up under the rib cage. Huge hit.
Now with the ball, Peacock, and they're doing it tough, England at the moment. Wabo got there in defence with Griffin. Price takes off. The defence was sloppy that time. Price had support. Gleeson was getting through. Couldn't offload last tackle, and Roby. And away with Sinfield, kicks over the top. He's turned young Moore around. Moore's got to the ball, then clobbered over the top by Fasavulu. And a line drop out for Papua New Guinea.
It's a better set from England. They needed to get to their kick, and they did. But the thing I liked about that set was Leon Price. Come in and was prepared to run it from dummy half, nothing much on. I'm sure Tony Smith at half-time would have put a rocket up his 5'8", because he's a guy that can be absolutely brilliant. Here's the run, he spots the space. He's a beautiful athlete, wonderful footballer, but wasn't sighted in that first half. He can break this game wide open. He's the man. and take the Pommies through this World Cup.
That's the reaction set I was looking for. Just play. See what comes off the back of it.
A replay showed just a little knock on too from Leon Price when he hit the deck. Picked up by the officials, and here's Fasavalu with the ball. And he's taken sideways. Wabo is plenty game, this replacement hooker in the red boots. Here he is again trying a tackle on Peacock. But Peacock is cut in half by 23 metres out from the line. Roby is out Burrow. England down by 4 and a loose ball, and Papua New Guinea will get to it. The Fancy Dans have come unstuck again. England.
You know, it takes persistence. It takes a great deal of fitness to push off the line continually in defence like the PNG team are. They're giving the Pommies no space. They get a penalty here. They've consolidated their error, the boys from England. But this is a great performance from Papua New Guinea. Defence is winning this for them. They are not allowing the Englishmen the time they need to play the fancy football that Laurie's been saying they need to shift away from.
Let's go down to the sideline. Wally Lewis.
And they do certainly need to get away from it. Their half-time break got instructions from the coach. The halfback Rod Burrow, once he took to the field, just kept screaming to the blokes, hit it up the middle. No changes to the team play. Yet they first opportunity, they spread the ball wide, turn it over, and offer the PNG boys another opportunity.
Played by Jason Chan. Wally Lewis, the great Wally Lewis, on the sideline for our commentary tonight of the first game of the World Cup. And good luck to the Scotland and the French teams playing tomorrow, and then the big one, you'll see Australia versus New Zealand as Azui charges through for Papua New Guinea. Makali Azui is having a stormer. Now Gene out wide, gets it on for Wilshere. Wilshere able to unload. Now more for the corner. Haynes sent forward from Nightingale. A forward pass to David Moore. The setup was outstanding from PNG. It deserved a try. And the man in pink is under fire.
Don't you take a holiday at PNG, Mr. Hayne. This is some great football. Again, Stanley Ganay's the man. They'll get it out to the left. Look, there's bugger all in that.
Our international audience in countries like Albania trying to look up their little dictionaries now. Bugger all. What does that mean?
There's not much in that, folks.
Exactly. England with the ball 11 metres out from their own line and under enormous pressure here. Morley makes good ground and has wrapped up 29 metres away from his own line. Griffin there again in defence. Where'd they get this bloke from? He's been superb, the lock forward for Papua New Guinea defensively for them tonight. He's got through plenty of defence. He's top of the tackle count. I don't think he's missed one. Now Roby again will play. He's the player most likely to split them open. Burrow kicks deep. And that's all they've got. That's all they've got. Wilshere will chase it down. And it goes dead in goal.
Let's get the marker straight, Jamie.
So a 20-metre restart for Papua New Guinea. The kick from Burrow was covered around about 70 metres, with the distance of the in-goal area as well. And the Kummels with it 25 metres out from their own line. Wilshere has been good. He's done all that can be asked of him, the captain and fullback. Very safe. 8.5 minutes into the second half and no change to the half-time score, and Papua New Guinea after a 20-metre restart with the ball now. Griffin through the centre, wrapped up there by Wilkin. Still no Denny Maguire for England. When do they play that ace? It may be their final ace. Kick downfield from Peters. Gardner got it, goes wide for Wellens. Wellens with the ball. Hasn't really had any impact on the game tonight. Paul Wellens in attack. And maybe one of the changes they could make is Lee Smith back to fullback. The man of the match from the grand final. Penalty here to England.
You're too deep. You need to get
the great thing about this performance for PNG is that their kicking game's been, at best ordinary. It's their chase. Their enthusiasm to chase on the fifth tackle, to get down there and shut down the back three of the English. It's made life difficult for Paul Wellens and co.
Here it is. Go.
So England with Graham, they get inside the Papua New Guinea 20 again. More pressure on the team coached by Adrian Lamb, their former captain. Is Burrow out for Price, 20 metres out from the line. That may have been forward there to Sinfield. It was on the line at best. Price play the ball. Now Wellens with it. Wabo there in defence. Back for Roby. Spun away from Akui. Then got it offloaded. Away for Wilkin. Wilkin flick. A hand there from Roby. Burrow's got the ball for Graham. Graham's 5 metres out. Kept it alive for Burrow. Now gets it out wide to Smith. The defence, they just keep coming from everywhere. There's more than 13 out there for the Cobbles. Maori got across. Wilkin this time for Morley. Morley's wrapped up by Peters. 5 away from the line on tackle 4. They attack the short side. They get a try again. And Smith has got a double on debut. And not for the first time tonight that play has worked for them. 16 all. England and Papua New Guinea.
That's been their most likely way to score. Down short sides. The Papua New Guinea players just not adjusting down the short sides, and the Englishmen are used to playing down tight spaces.
Just a simple case of numbers here, isn't it? As Laurie pointed out, it's been the most likely part of the field. But they're going to post points, and they do it again. I think after sustained pressure, what happens is that numbers become an issue for PNG. And the English were very good in that set. A lot of second phase, a lot of change of direction with the ball in hand. And they get to a point where they know that they've got numbers and they just play to them.
The senior players in this English team now need to be saying to the rest of the teammates, we need energy for 10 minutes. We need a good 10-minute burst here to try and put PNG out of this contest. Let's make our run now, both with the football and without.
Sinfield's kick, he didn't look at all comfortable there, and it wasn't a good strike. He's landed 2 from the sideline, and now he misses his easiest one of the night. 16 all, Wally Lewis.
Gee, the missed opportunities have been very expensive for the Papua New Guinea boys as well. Of course, 2 occasions where they turned over possession in the first half. Tries were snapped up by their opponents, and it's been very painful once again. They could have put 4 points on the board. Instead, it's turned around, and it's a pretty tight contest to go on from here. I think the best thing that they can probably rely on now is just to settle down. Don't panic too much.
Papua New Guinea have made a few changes on the back of that try. Paul Aiton's out there, but they've kept Charlie Wabo out there. And Morley back from the kickoff with a strong run back to the 20-metre line. Thinking back to the 2000 World Cup, we had a half-time scoreline in a semi-final where Australia trailed Wales, which was of equal proportions to what we saw at half-time here tonight. Australia was able to really put it together in the second 40 back there in Huddersfield. 8 years on, let's see if England can do the same from here.
Now just watch John Wilkin. He's the 17 for the English. He's playing in the back row, play out there on the left-hand side. He's got a great sense for the game. Good offload. He can play before the line, through the line. Young kid, but a very good player.
Still Roby offloading and outstanding. 30 metres away from the line. Price at dummy half for Sinfield. From 25 out kicks. Moore's been good, this 19-year-old on the wing. And he's got the ball again, has collected high and has managed to stay in front of that goal line.
It's a good set after points, but this is where they need surge with their energy. Really make the Papuans work it off their own try line.
Stand, marker straight.
So they're floundering here, Papua New Guinea, but they appear to have lost a little bit of energy in this set. That's 3 tackles and they're still inside their own 10. The dummy half running now for Paul Aiton. He gets outside the 10, but that's tackle 4. And even though they've got the ball, they're under a bit of pressure themselves here. Now George Monty, good metres offloaded, back for Wabo. Wabo's kept it alive for Aiton. Support on his outside, held there by Sinfield. Risky ball there, then put down by Gene. Ball still going back, last tackle, they're 8 away from their own line. And Wilshire has to rush a kick because the markers were offside.
Great set. That was what the Englishmen are looking for. Now they have to come up with something good in this set as well. Now get to their structure, roll forward, but now start to take some shape when they've got the ball.
Gardner's got it, the winger, dragged down there by Costigan, finished off in the tackle of Gene. Roby infield for the captain, Peacock. Peacock straight through the centre. He had Wellens on his left. He looked to his right. Roby, 10 away. Off he goes again. Price inside for Graham. Graham keeps it alive. On the bounce for Gleeson. Here's Rob Burrow. Burrow's 10 metres out from the line. Doesn't pass to Senior. 5 away, and the Papua New Guinea defence is on the rack here. Wilkin then with Gleeson. Flat ball out in front. They're keeping it alive. They're trying to keep some sort of attacking structure here, England. Roby standing again. Well, he has been outstanding. Again, he's offloaded. Wellens takes off. Over the top for Graham. Graham puts himself in a position to get a return pass. Now England are knocked on. Wilkin has knocked on. And Papua New Guinea hang on by a fingernail.
They'd be hurting right now, the English.
Thanks, mate.
They've had the weight of possession in this second half.
Come on, guys.
And right there, they had the Papua New Guineans on the rope. And in the end, after a lot of second phase, it was just a loss of concentration. The cup ends up in a knock-on. And now, look, I just think PNG were there for the taking in that set, but they couldn't close them out. They'll get their breath back here.
Go,
try and get back a bit of hope and
out.
Just run as hard as they possibly can to get out of this end of the football field.
Long way to go, of course, but we should remind our viewers no extra time, no golden point. A draw's a draw here in the preliminary matches of the World Cup. And this from pool number 1, the pool that has Australia, New Zealand, and the 2 teams you're seeing tonight. PNG at 3 tries all and 16 all. Now Wabo. And this is better running with Costigan for Papua New Guinea, but good defence also. Price over the top. Pretty heavy stuff there. In fact, it was on Jason Chan. Wabo now for Gene. Been a little quiet since half-time. Now he gets it going. Now loose ball. Put down by Monty. England straight away on the attack. Smith's looking for a hat-trick on debut. And held up in the tackle. And they get physical as well. Was George Kepper across there to make the tackle. Penalty to England. He's fired up, George Kepper.
He's had an outstanding game, Georgie Kepper. He wants to get involved.
What are you doing?
But the Englishmen are making their run. But they still need to stay composed.
What are you doing?
Cannot be frustrated here.
Go.
Sinfield takes the tap. And now it's on with Morley. Morley takes a shot at them. Didn't get too many tries in his time in the NRL with the Roosters. Close there for England. Sinfield for Burrow. They stand this deep this time. Price on the bounce. Is hit hard by Costigan again. He's been great for them tonight, Neville. Neville Costigan. Burrow. Maguire's out there now for England in 14. Here is Wellens. Wellens hit over the top. Pora fell off him. Quick play the ball. 5 minutes out. Graham head down. The front rower takes them on. And Papua New Guinea set up a brick wall. Maguire dummy half right on the goal line of PNG. Burrow support inside. It's a try to Gleeson. England is back in front and a flow of possession going their way, and Papua New Guinea crack.
He hasn't had many opportunities tonight, Martin Gleeson, but he's gone looking for the football. Lovely inside trail run there off Rob Burrow and just exposed the New Guinea team, not getting across quick enough, and the Englishmen go to the front.
Fourth try for the night for England, and they've all gone to their backline players, their three-quarter line. Gardner got the first, Smith a double, and now Gleeson on the score sheet. They're back in front by 4, having trailed by 4 at half-time. Papua New Guinea have had no field position at all in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Young man who scored the try there, well, he's not so young these days. He has played 21 tests. He's now 28, Martin Gleeson, but as a young man, played some junior footy in Brisbane. Was captain of the England side in their warm-up game against Wales. Sinfield successful this time. The margin is 6. And Wally Lewis is on the sideline.
And I think English coach Tony Smith will be fairly happy with the last set of 6 that he's seen. Asking take it up the middle. They did that. The intent there. Rob Burrow was the man in charge of everything. Simple turn back on the inside. Saw the PNG defenders desperate to get there, but unfortunately left too many holes.
Gleeson, one of the Warrington players in this English side. 2 from Warrington, 1 from Wigan, and all the rest are St Helens and Leeds. Wilshire with the restart of play. And fielded by Wellens, and Morley's ready for another run for England.
And Wally Lewis is 100% right. I think the more the English can play through the middle third of the field, really drive it forward with some smart ruck plays and get this Papua New Guinean defence on the back foot, the more success they're going to have on the fringes.
And that website, rlwc08.com, for all the news on the Rugby League World Cup over the next month, through to the final, November 22, up at Suncorp Stadium. And a great start to the tournament here in Townsville. Wellens will play at 10 short of halfway. Now Price back for Maguire to kick deep. Got 2 tries in the grand final and his first kick of the night. This was right on the 40-metre line. Now Moore has kept it in the field of play. Now he's got to get out of the end goal. And what about that? A 19-year-old from the Gold Coast Titans.
Well, you have to be courageous to do that play. When 3 defenders are coming down at you and there's nowhere to go except run into a brick wall, and he got between defenders, and that's a massive play for his team.
Have a look at this. Courage with a touch of brilliance. No wonder they got such big raps on him on the Gold Coast. He might have started this year in the under-20s, but I don't think the NRL's too far away.
I tell you, in 2007, he put his hand up playing for the Tweed Heads Colts. He scored 28 tries in that season, and then into the Titans Toyota Cup side that played in the finals this year. Papua New Guinea again, last tackle and only back to their 20 though. And now I will use the word floundering. That's a great kick on the end of that from Keith Peters to get them out of trouble, but they are just not making the metres now. It's a combination of England's defence has picked up, but I really do think they're feeling the pinch, the Kummels.
And that was always going to be an issue for them, because in the first half, the Papua New Guineans were making easy metres, which meant that the poor kicking game that they've got at the moment, it wasn't making that much of a difference. But now when they're trapped inside their own 20, their own 30, their own 40, they don't have the long-range kickers. They can't kick it 40 and 50 metres downfield, and the Pommies are taking advantage of it.
Scrum 32 metres out from the England line. And Maguire in at lock, able to pick up the ball there for Senior, who will retire from rep football at the end of this World Cup. He has played over 300 games in the Super League, Keith Senior, 345 in fact. And here will be another penalty to England. This is just a total turnaround for England now. The flow that they've got in this game, penalties going their way. Papua New Guinea have stopped making ground with the ball. A lot of possession for England, and they've scored back-to-back tries as well.
That's been the key, possession. Controlling possession and going forward, something they really lacked.
Here goes Graham again. He's inside the 20. They're certainly warming up in this contest. They certainly needed to. They welcome back for Maguire. He's got great footwork. Maguire's away. He's offloaded. It's forward. Smith almost had a hat-trick. Maguire showed us some of his skills there. A player who could star at this World Cup. And Smith, almost a hat-trick on debut.
When his team's on the front foot, there's no more dangerous player in the game in the English Super League than Danny Maguire. Footwork, subtle touch with the ball in hand. That was a great pass, just drifted forward. But if the English start to roll forward, look for Maguire to really feature in this game.
Denny, over here, right over here.
Scrum,
Don't back away
10 metres out from the line.
Yep, pull in, out.
And Peters with it for Papua New Guinea. Now Stanley Guinea, or Gene as he's been known for most of his career, but he wants it to be Guinea from now on. 25 years at the top level, and now he's made a change. He's let us all know that everyone's been getting it wrong. Wilshire, terrific run, the fullback, the captain, back to the 30. Now Wabo. Azui's back on. I reckon this is his third stint of the match tonight. They've also rushed out Trevor Exton out there. 41 metres away from their own line. Costigan gets it along left for Nightingale, who's had some nice touches tonight. The back rower for Papua New Guinea. Last tackle, better set from PNG. Gene's going to show us a kick down the short side. One bounce. He wanted it to turn left, it didn't. Fielded by Wellens. Moore chased him, he missed him. Now Wellens is tackled 15 away from the Lions line. Infield from Gleeson, and Gardner's got it. Gardner collected high by 8 on. 22-16 to England after PNG led 16-12 at half-time. Possession is almost levelled up now. But they've regrouped here, Papua New Guinea. A decent set with the ball in their hand and defensively doing okay in this set. Morley, there's little Wabo again getting involved. It's impossible to miss with those red boots. Back for the kick from Sinfield with purpose over the head. A hard bounce though. You would have thought it would pull up, and it's just gone over the dead ball line. That would come as a surprise there to Kevin Sinfield.
Well, they probably need to do more of that when they get around that 40-metre zone. Kick and chase. Make the Papuans work the football off their own try line. They haven't had to do it a lot. And it's an easy way of trying to tire a football team. Getting them to turn, chase, come back and work the football off their own line.
Wabo for Papua New Guinea in the meat of the defence, running into Adrian Morley, which is not advisable, I wouldn't think. 35 away from their own line. Will Shear for Gene. He runs hard. He's lost the ball, Stanley. It'll be an English scrum feed. Sinfield was there in defence to make the tackle with Gareth Hock. And they combine on Old Stanley. And he hears the music, and it wasn't sweet.
I've got complete admiration for this guy. He's trying as hard now as he was in the first minute. He knew that his team was struggling, and he wanted to get out of his own end, so he just called for the ball and ran as hard as he possibly could. He dropped it. He was up, patting blokes on the back. He wanted to get straight back into it.
You saw it close up. You be the judge at home. How old do you think Stanley is? Born in Goroka. He's 34. I'm a Dutch astronaut. England in possession, 42 metres out from the Papua New Guinea line. Maguire on for Graham. He's got inside the 40. Tackled there by Jason Chan. They're 35 away from the line. They're looking a little more promising though now, and Maguire's out there. He's had a bit of spark to them. Tackled there by Wabo. Now Burrow got into dummy half away for Gareth Hock. And Hock is not able to offload there. He was good back in the 2006 Tri-Nations, Gareth Hock. Now Burrow on for Sinfield. He sets it up for Gardner. Moore's underneath it. Moore's got it again, this kid, on the left wing for PNG.
Was he tackled in the air?
Well, it's allowed.
Rule change.
It's allowed.
Another rule change.
Attackers and defenders. It's an open go when the ball is in the air. For the World Cup. And PNG have the ball 20 metres out from their own line. They are a team in need of some sort of individual brilliance at the moment, just a runaway try. It may come here though. They push it out for Kepper, off the pass of Maori. Kepper down the right side is cut down by Rob Burrow. Kepper made 40 metres. Now they move forward with Peters. Peters offloaded for Aton. Paul Aton runs hard. Back for Peters, kept alive for Exton. Exton pushed away from Sinfield. Last tackle, 35 metres from the England line. Gene with it. Stanley goes for a left foot bomb. Underneath it is Wellens. Gene gets up. He's lost the ball and he's penalised.
Jumped too early, Stanley never went for the ball, mate.
I think if you watch this closely, what you're going to find, because I watched Stanley running through, at no stage did he look to the air. Here's the replay. Stanley almost stares at the grass the whole way along. Here he goes. There we go. Maybe at the last moment he gives it a little glance, but for the most part he only had eyes for Paul Wellens.
Oh, I've seen worse let go, I've got to say. He wasn't that late, the interference on the fullback Wellens.
The way he plays his footy. It's acceptable.
Morley's gone to the bench for England, and there's Graham. They've missed him. Azui came up. I love Makali Azui. We see plenty more of him. He'll be the starting front rower against the Kangaroos here in 2 weeks' time. Locking horns with the likes of Steve Price and Petro Sivanasiva.
Well, Stanley Jean did say in '95 his performances in the World Cup earned him a contract in the English Super League. I'm sure some of these players will be targeted at the end of this World Cup.
Now Burrow, he will play it. Last tackle for England, 15 metres out from the line. And a chance to break open this match. They lead by 6, Sinfield. And it comes Gleeson for Price. Price away to Gardner. That may have been forward. Gardner has scored. It was definitely forward. Protest from Papua New Guinea. But they've awarded the try to Aid Gardner, his second. But big doubts on the last pass here.
Well, it was a classy shift. They went out to the right-hand side. Marty Gleeson will get the out ball back inside to Leon Price and out to 80 Gardner. Pass, pass, pass over in the corner. Try time, English.
So both English wingers have a double, Gardner and Smith, but the Price pass to Gardner. They've been pretty good on pulling up some forward passes tonight and in try-scoring situations, but that one has slipped through. So Gardner adds to his try tally this year. Look, he may have more than 40 tries by the end of this tournament for the season in all football. He's a specialist on the wing. England versus Papua New Guinea, and England have the biggest lead of the match right now. And the way Sinfield's kicked tonight, he's more a chance of getting him from out here. He's got 3 from 4, his first 2 from the touchline. Here he is just inside the 20. Nice and sweet, nice and sweet. He's got it again. Kevin Sinfield has landed 3 from the touchline tonight at 28-16.
Well, hey Gardner, you call him a try specialist. I can remember, a decade ago that specialist wingers weren't taken on tours. They would take outside centres, inside centres, people that played in the three-quarter line for their clubs. But yeah, the wingers, it's a specialist role these days.
Short kick off from Wilshire. Papua New Guinea get the ball back, but referee Haynes says knock forward. Aton was away too. They were going to have possession inside the 30 of England. Here was the challenge.
Well, that's gone back off the hands of Neville Costa, get onto his head. I don't think there's a knock on in that. Anyway, they've moved on.
England winning the scrum, and Price away to Wellens. And Wellens a dummy to Senior. He turns the defence around, but Maori has done well. There's another teenager in the back line playing at right centre. Plays with the Roosters Toyota Cup side, their under-20 team in Australia, and is playing international footy tonight against a pretty experienced player in Keith Senior. Fasavalu got it away, and here is Gareth Hott getting nice and strong and finished off there in the tackle of Nightingale. 28-16 after PNG led 16-12 at half-time. Graham with the ball. Held up over the top by Griffin. Got a pass away to Burrow. Then along for Wellens. Lost his footing. Knocked down by Maori. Now with Ellis. Ellis on for Maguire with a dummy. Got it away to Senior. Here they go again. This time Smith has his hat-trick. Whether he forced the ball, they will check it with a video referee. Wilshire, the PNG fullback, looked up anxiously. Smith gives us the impression he has scored. Although then again, a little shrug at the finish. I think you've got to say he got it down, but that's one for Stephen Clark. Laurie Daly?
Yeah, I'm prepared to say he got it down. Goes across, Wilshire makes a late effort, tries to hold him up. So I would think the ball was grounded there at some stage. This may give us a better angle at it.
It was worth a look, but wasn't it? The left hand will come round. Smith's right. I don't think he's got it down.
No, you've got to give that,
yeah,
surely, Ben.
I give that.
You're cracking jokes, aren't you?
I'm not cracking
What,
jokes.
you're not going to give that? To be fair,
The skin of the ball has not hit the grass, in my opinion.
the skin of the ball and the blades of grass.
Yes, that's a try.
Tell your story walking, Ben. You're not welcome here. But they will study all angles. Stephen Clark in the video referee's box, former. So that hasn't got down. All that grass
There
going
you
up.
go.
The skin of the ball hasn't touched
It's always
the grass
that third angle that proves when it's a try. Now I'm with you, blokes.
Thanks for your support.
Well, what about this young bloke? What a month he's had. Grand final, plays fullback to replace the injured Brent Webb at Leeds. Makes the most of the opportunity, gets man of the match, the Harry Sunderland medal in the grand final, the equivalent of the Clyde Churchill medal in Australia. And now, in his first test, he's got a hat-trick of tries. Confirmation here from Stephen Clark. He says try. Lee Smith has got 3. Aid Gardner's got 2. The two wingers got 5 between them. and it's 32-16.
Well, it's been a better second half performance by the English now as they look to confirm this win. And Lee Smith on that left wing, 3 tries for the night. First touring team. A tremendous effort. And Kevin Sinfield from the sideline, 4 from 5. Here we go.
And Sinfield this time misses to the left side of the upright. But they've got on a roll since half-time. They've in fact scored 20 points to 0. England over the Kumuls. Lee Smith at 22 years of age. A hat-trick here tonight. Debuted for Leeds as an 18-year-old in 2005 and has played in the last 2 grand finals. So he's got that big match experience.
Well, it might have been Lee Smith's 3rd try, but I'll tell you who's been good since he come on, Danny Maguire. Creating havoc out there on the left-hand side. The Kumuls go for the short kickoff.
And this time they've got it. It was put down by Wellens. He got the jump, but David Moore latched onto it. Papua New Guinea, maybe a try still in them. And the ball is Griffin. He got there first tonight. It'll still be hard to top for one of the highlights of the World Cup, the first try of Papua New Guinea and the reaction. Now Azui. He's 15 away from the line. And suddenly they've found some petrol in the tank. 8 on a dummy half, and he switches to the left side and delivers the ball for Griffin. Tackled low by Roby. Wellens got across there as well. Been a long time since they've been this close to the England line. It's hardly happened in this second half. Gene across. With it is the halfback Peters. Now out the back to Wilshere. Got away from Smith. Wilshere close to the line. Has hit over the top. Some desperate stuff there from England. High from the line. Papua New Guinea with Keith Peters, steadies, kicks low. Chasing through is Aiton! Aiton has scored! Papua New Guinea have got a 4th try against the might of the Lions. Good on him. 32-20.
Well, it was the Penrith connection. Peters will drop it onto the left foot and Aiton will swing through. Flying. Grab the ball and plant it down for a 4-pointer. On the 5th tackle, deft little touch here, left footer, through the hole. No Englishman inside, try time to the PNG boys.
And they've got the stiff for more points. They want a quick conversion. Wilshere from beside the posts. It's 32-22. Some excited fans here in Townsville. Crowd over 10,000 for the kick-off to the World Cup. And England will be licking their wounds, so to speak, at the end of this one. They certainly weren't anticipating a 32-22 scoreline. Sinfield restarts play for England. Nice and deep, fielded by Peters. And look at the energy levels now. What a try can do. If somehow they had been able to muster a try earlier in their second half. So much adrenaline was pumping in that first half. Gene's got it away. Here you go. Suddenly they're all running. Nightingale trapped 35 metres out from the line. And this time Costigan gets it up to halfway. Sinfield ripped at the ball in a 2-man tackle. Penalty Papua New Guinea.
Well, momentum has swung. They get the penalty. They're looking for the quick restart. They're going to quickly find touch. With only 3.5 minutes left to go. I reckon they've got another try in them. The question is, have they got 2?
Well, exactly. Hang on a second. The game isn't over. They score here. They can have 2.5 minutes to come up with a match winner. Aiton. Gene has kicked on the first. What's going on, Stanley? Hey, Stanley, you got a full set of 6. What are you doing?
I think that's worked for him somewhere before. I don't know where. But he's obviously used that play before, because to do that in the first tackle with a chance to post points, he was obviously supremely confident something was going to come of it.
Oh, it's a bludger of a kick too, 32-22, and we're talking about a miracle finish.
But remember, Wellens, one of the best positional fullbacks in rugby league.
It is. Stanley, we've given him plenty of raps tonight, but that was not top shelf. That was well and truly out of the basement. Asavalu on the 40, plays it. Roby to Graham. Man of the match tonight will be decided on by a panel of experts appointed by the World Cup Committee. And there's a few contenders out there, the likes of James Roby and James Graham have been very strong. Here's Wilshere. Look, from the losing side, Stanley's still been very good. I think Wilshere, the fullback, has been as good as anyone.
Rod Griffin, the 13. Here we go, some easy yards. They're still excitable.
As we saw the try again, for all of you watching across Papua New Guinea, and Lay and Rabal and Karoka and Moresby, you can be proud of your boys tonight. Wonderful, wonderful effort. Here's Costigan. How good has he been for this Papua New Guinea side? Disappointed with his year at Canberra and off to the St George Illawarra Dragons next year in the NRL. And he played Origin last year, Neville Costigan here for Papua New Guinea. Now Aiton across, 30 metres out from the line with just 90 seconds remaining. They trail by 10, still they attack. Maori's got the ball, he's inside the 30, can't offload. Burrows across there with Senior. They defend Burrow on the left side. He's going to come under enormous pressure against New Zealand and Australia later in the tournament. Some big boys are going to be running at Rob Burrow, but they're all big to Rob. 23 metres away from the line. Aiton shows the baton out in front. Links up with Stanley. Stanley can't offload that time. Good tackle by Maguire. Last play it is for Papua New Guinea. Wilshere over the head of Azui to Keith Peters. Steadies for the bomb, puts it up, out towards Smith. George Kepper getting through. Smith's got the ball. He's got a bit of speed too. Across comes Peters. And England back in possession. That will be the last chance Papua New Guinea have to post points. Now Ellis to the 40 for England. At 32-22, Burrow on to Senior. Australia to play New Zealand tomorrow night. Scotland against France down in Canberra. But certainly the Kangaroos and the Kiwis, a real showpiece in the opening ceremony at the Sydney Football Stadium, played there by Burrow. Here's Graham with another hit up. His stats tonight, 20 hit ups, 17 tackles for the man of steel from the Super League this year. Maguire, 35 metres out from the line. Again the footwork from Maguire. Slipped the pass for Sinfield. Sinfield over the top. With it is Gleeson. Gleeson tries his own footwork and wrapped up by James Nightingale. Last tackle for England. And final seconds of play. It's put over the sideline. It completes 80 torrid and entertaining minutes in the opening match of the World Cup. A match that has produced 10 tries, 6 tries to 4, England against Papua New Guinea. And the full-time score, England 32, Papua New Guinea 22.